Thank you very much. 12:37 Hawaiian Standard Time. Welcome to the show. This is AAF Hawaii Education Series, Two Scoops. Now, each month, AAF Hawaii's Two Scoops series will spotlight a different industry leader who will share life and career experiences as well as advice and takeaways learned along the way. You can also find our recordings of our past two sessions discussions, as Ryan had mentioned, on our AAF Hawaii YouTube channel. Go check it out. To simplify things, the chat is moderated, but we encourage you to put your questions into the chat, comments into the chat. We take a look at it quite a bit as we go on through the show. Before we begin, though, upcoming event for you. Mark this on your calendar. Thursday, April 20th. If you know anyone or someone who is in college or graduating from college, we'll be hosting the ABCs of JOBs. This event will offer tips and insights on how to land your first job in advertising and design. The discussion items will include building your own personal brand, network equals net worth. You landed that interview. Now what? What companies really look for, what they really look for in an employee or a potential employee, and more. RSVP now by visiting aafhawaii.com. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Corporate Social Media Marketing Manager at Caesars Entertainment. She manages the Las Vegas region of 10 properties, and Caesars rewards social media channels. Now, in her primary responsibilities are overseeing 50 plus regional destinations, Caesars digital sportsbook and iCasino, collaborating with hospitality and gaming departments on producing, shooting, and editing content, as well as influencer management and live event coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our show, Kristen Koss. Kristen, thank you for
Hi,
being here.
everyone. Thanks for having me. You can see that I'm at our Caesars Palace pool. It's gorgeous, the Garden of the Gods pool. But yeah, so I'm Kristen. I'm the corporate social media marketing manager at Caesars. I'm sure everybody has heard of Caesars Palace, from The Hangover. It's such an iconic brand, but not everybody knows that we have 10 properties in the Las Vegas Strip. So that would be inclusive of, Paris, Las Vegas, the newly rebranded Horseshoe Las Vegas, Harrah's, Flamingo Link, Cromwell, Planet Hollywood, so much more. We also have 50 plus destinations across the US. So that would be our Halo destinations like Harrah's New Orleans, Caesars Atlantic City, Harvey's and Harrah's Lake Tahoe, and so much more. But then we also have our Caesars digital platforms as well. So that's inclusive of Caesars Racebook, Caesars Sportsbook, and our new Caesars iCasino. So thanks so much for having me.
Kristen was born and raised on the island of Oahu. So what school you in, Kristen?
Oh, Roosevelt,
Awesome. And you earned your BA in communications at?
University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Awesome. Now, after managing the social media, which you did at Hawaiian Airlines,
Yeah.
you moved to Vegas to run the regional social media at Caesars Entertainment. What do you do in your current role?
So in my current role, I basically manage everything that touches social media. So my main responsibilities are running Caesars Palace's social handles. So we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We shoot everything ourselves. So photography, videography, do the editing, copywriting, scheduling, and then a lot with our influencer management. And then I also run the Caesars Rewards, which is our B2C channel, our loyalty program. So similar to how we have, Hawaiian Miles for Hawaiian Airlines, we have Caesars Rewards for our casinos. And then Caesars Entertainment, which is our B2B, our corporate platform, inclusive of LinkedIn. And then I also guide strategy for our regional properties. So most of our regional properties have a dedicated social media person there, whether it is like the director of marketing or an advertising coordinator. Most of these smaller regional properties have somebody there managing the day to day for social, but we also provide guidance on just basically what's trending, what they should, suggestions on what to post, or just providing them any kind of documents or even templates.
Now, how many people do you manage?
So we have a very small team in Vegas. We are a team of four. That is just for Vegas, but we do have other people across the region. So every regional property does have a social person. So they don't fall specifically on your team. So we have four just for the Las Vegas region, which is the hospitality, is what we like to say. So that's inclusive of entertainment, food and beverage, hotels. And then we have our Caesar Sportsbook side, which also has four.
Wow. We'll get back to that coming up in a couple of moments. How did you get into your current role?
So it was a long process, but basically it all started in college. I was the marketing intern at Band Project and Republic and ran their social media and just basically fell in love doing it. And it really sparked my interest. This was back in, like 2012 when Instagram was very new. It was photo heavy. I think stories just started around then. Periscope was the popping thing. We had Twitter. After college, I was hired at the Hawaiian Humane Society, where I worked in the community relations department, and social media really wasn't being used fully there. So I kind of took hold of that and started the strategy and running that as well. And then after a couple of years there, I started at Hawaiian Airlines and also ran the social media there. And at that time, in about 2016, I think is when corporations viewed social media as more of a full-time job rather than having it as added responsibilities to someone who's basically doing PR or marketing. So that's kind of where I saw the shift in having full-time social media departments. And so after a couple of years at Hawaiian, I was then wanted to move to the mainland where I was hired at Caesars.
Well, so what is the day in the life of a social media manager? What does that look like?
So I would say no day is ever the same. It's very different, but a typical day would include a lot of meetings, as most people do. But we meet with a lot of different types of partners. So as I'm in hospitality, we meet with our hospitality partners, which is food and beverage. We have a ton of restaurants. If you've been to Caesar's Palace, we have like Hell's Kitchen, which is a Gordon Ramsay partnership. We have Bobby Flay Amalfi, so a Bobby Flay partnership. So we meet with these partners quite often just to see what's new, if they have new menu items they want us to shoot or to promote. But we also meet with our entertainment partners. So right now we have Garth Brooks coming up for our residency. So just seeing what we can do there with our resident artists. But we also have our just our home artists, like we have Absinthe at Caesar's Palace. We have a bunch of different other artists, like Donnie is at the Harrah's. And then we also meet with hotel strategy to determine our organic social media and paid social media plans to push hotel rooms and sales. Then we also schedule our photo shoots. We shoot, edit, and schedule content. Love shoot days, especially if it's around food and beverage, because we get to eat and taste. Obviously, we have to learn about the food and beverage so we can help write the copy. So my favorite part, eating and drinking, tasting everything. And then when I have time, I like to engage with our followers and our partners. So that's a typical day. Unique days are a little different where we do live coverage. There's always events happening in Vegas, as you know. We have special events or grand openings. With the most recent, we opened Stand Social Prime in partnership with Chef Chris Santos, right next to Omnia Nightclub. So that opened, I think, about 3 weeks ago. We hosted Bella Hadid on the red carpet. We had the Bachelor, Bachelorette cast. So that was a long day doing live coverage, but love it.
What's it like to manage numerous accounts? You got different brands, you got different voices, different identities, basically. And to keep track of all that, I guess that's where the meetings and organization really kick in.
Yeah, so it can be really confusing when you start out managing different brand voices. Typically, with our team, we manage three properties. We call them pods. So three properties per team. But you really just need to find your brand's identity and stick with it. So Caesar's Palace, for example, is so iconic. So I love being really playful with the brand voice and the tone and becoming more approachable. People love asking us, is this the real Caesar's Palace? Doing hangover quotes. So I love to just get a play off of them. And people love interacting with brands when it's, really fun and with an iconic brand. But I would say organization is key. I sometimes I find myself replying and or engaging from a different brand than I meant to. So organization is key. We also use a social media management platform just to help us stay organized and schedule content ahead of time. Social media is always changing, so there are limited API restrictions. Just I think a couple of weeks ago, they started allowing us to schedule reels, scheduling TikToks, but before that, that was all native. So sometimes you're like, oh, I forgot to post that. That's where organization is key with just plotting in your calendar. Don't forget to post your TikTok or stuff like that.
That's a lot of calendar work there. What is your favorite moment, favorite thing about working at Caesars?
So I'm a huge Gordon Ramsay fan. I literally grew up watching Hell's Kitchen in my family and MasterChef. So I love Gordon Ramsay. And on my second week on the job, they told us that Gordon Ramsay's coming to town, which they know that our celebrity chefs actually do that. It's really kind of amazing that they take time out of their day, come to our restaurants, interact with guests, interact with customers and employees. So we had a full social media shoot with him that day. I believe this was 3 years ago. So this was at Planet Hollywood. We did like a little Make-A-Wish thing with him. And then we went to Hell's Kitchen where we surprised our 1 millionth guest with like a golden beef Wellington and surprised the couple. So I would say that was like the first time and only time I've ever been, shocked by a celebrity. But he is really sweet, easy to work with. And since then I've worked with him at least 5 times and every time is always great.
Wow, that's nice to hear that he's so approachable to work with because sometimes doesn't seem so on the TV show, right?
Yeah,
But that's
he's
that's the
great though.
personality. But that's
It
the
is.
personality. That's the persona, right?
Yeah.
Hey, when we're talking about Caesars, what was it like for you to make that move? What was the thinking, and how did that go when it came time to make that move to somewhere else?
So I knew that I wanted to move to the mainland. I was born and raised here, went to college here, so I never had that opportunity. And I knew at some point I wanted to see what it's like, try it out on the mainland. So I started looking for career opportunities that were still somewhat close to Hawaii because I am very close with my family and friends here, which Vegas, is the ninth island, and there are direct flights there. And we do have a lot of local food and groceries. So it wasn't Yes, it wasn't too hard of a move for me. It's not as shocking as moving to the Midwest or maybe another country. I still get my local food. We have a local poke shop on my street, so you always find locals around. But was definitely a little bit of a shock because I moved 3 months before COVID. But I stuck it out and I love it.
Did we lose you,
Yeah.
Kristen? Oh,
Oh,
okay. Oh, sorry.
no.
No, sorry. It did chop up a little bit, but I wasn't sure if you had reached the end of a sentence there. That is amazing to go ahead and figure out that that's something that you wanted to do and go out and attack that. What advice do you have for someone that's wanting to do something similar?
So definitely do your research on the companies before you apply. I would also suggest following them on LinkedIn. That's and their social media if you have interest in social media. But LinkedIn is key, I would say, for people in our type of work. Most of the job openings will be on LinkedIn. That's where you can reach out to recruiters or the hiring manager there. And then once you are offered a position or in the negotiations of a position, ask if they offer compensation for moving. So not a lot of companies do, or if you don't speak up, they might not even offer or suggest it, but most companies do. Sometimes it's dependent on how high up of a position it is, but it is a significant cost moving from Hawaii. So most recruiters should be able to help you out in some capacity. For example, I had to move my car. You can't drive it to the mainland, so I had to ship it, and then ship. Luckily, I didn't have a lot of furniture, but I had to ship all my clothes and shoes and stuff.
Although I think you'd have a brand new wardrobe for the kind of weather that they have up there compared to what you'd have from what you were here. How
Yeah.
How do you select and go about working with content creators? What do you look for?
So I like to call influencers content creators. I don't like to say influencers. So content creators, we get hundreds of inquiries a day, if not a week or day through DMs. Would it be? So we developed an intake form just to sort through the applicants in an easier way. Most influencers, content creators will send mass DMs just to brands, just to partner with. Most of the time, it's not even specific to that brand. It's just a mass DM. So we like to reply back with our intake form. It usually some of them will be turned off by that because they're just looking for a free room or free brand deal.
Hmm.
And that's not the type of business we work with because everybody's coming to Vegas to celebrate something. So we just get so many inquiries. But with the intake form, we ask them to submit all their information, also their media kit and examples of former partnerships, bonus points if you've worked with similar brands in the hotel and hospitality industry like us, and then just what they're looking for in an exchange. So we like to do a lot of trade. So if you do this for us, we'll give you a room or food and beverage credit. So trades are always the best, but we are very selective with our content creators. We prefer to form relationships with ambassadors to work with them further on down the line rather than just a one-time use.
I'm going to ask you to kind of put your hands on the crystal ball. Where do you see social media's growth, and where do you see change coming over the next several years? Do you see anything trending that you think that we should be notable about?
So, as you know, social media is always evolving. It is really hard to pinpoint anything. I mean, right now with Twitter being bought by Elon and every day there's changes, I swear, with Twitter. News stations now saying that they're not going to be on Twitter. And then Instagram is literally a replica of TikTok, um, devaluing photos and upping reels. It's really hard to say, but I personally would predict that there's probably going to be some type of new social media app coming out that businesses will jump on. I know right now the newest one is like Be Real, but not a lot of businesses are on that. But I do think another business centric social media platform should be coming out soon. And also, social media marketing isn't going anywhere. Many businesses, whether it's large or small, rely on it as a free means of marketing and public relations. So, yeah.
I want to take this time real quickly here to remind our viewers, if you want to have question, comment, throw it in the chat. Please, we'd love to see it. A portion of the people that are joining us today are in college. What advice for them do you have for those wanting to enter the workforce and interested in a career in social media?
So I always strongly recommend doing internships. It's really never too early just to get your foot in the door, start doing internships. If you're unsure about what your passion is, try a few different internships. You have a lot of time in college. I mean, they're like semester internships. So try a few out, figure out what you like, go with it. I also suggest networking is such a must. Hawaii is such a close knit community that even on the mainland, networking will help you out. I meet so many people from Hawaii that knew people that I worked with or knew people from my high school or know my parents. So networking is so huge. It really helps you get your foot in other doors. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions in your work environment. I see questions as more learning, take on more responsibility. If you see fit, learn new skills, and that really shows that you deserve promotion or, yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest lesson that you have learned in your position?
So I've done both the content side and the care side of social media. And the care side will always roll into the content side. But keyboard warriors or trolls will always be trolling you. We don't let it get to you. It might get to you. It's really hard to read, but don't let it get to you. Don't take it personally. They're just upset at what's happening to them at that moment, whether, their room's not ready, they got charged for something else, they wanted an upgrade. So things will always happen. So just don't engage with them because it's ultimately what they want. If they have an actual problem, yes, help them. But a lot of the times we do get a lot of trolls. And it really is just going to cause more issues with you in the long run. So that's kind of what our team is. We just don't engage with all our trolls.
No, sounds good. Rapid fire questions coming up in a couple of moments. What's the biggest risk that you took in your career? What was it, and then what was the outcome?
So, like I mentioned, I would say I was moving to Vegas 3 months before COVID and the shutdown, I think it hit Vegas before it hit Hawaii, but we literally shut down all of our casinos uh, 3 months in to moving. So it was definitely an experience because I was so uncertain if I even had a job through all of this. But I actually did stay on throughout the whole shutdown, all of COVID, because our leadership thought social media was such a vital part of the company, even though the casinos were shut down. It was still a free means of getting information out to the public, updating them on openings and COVID health and safety protocols. And since then, we just have kept growing our department.
It's interesting because that was a really big reset button for you because you're able to start from the ground up now again and be there kind of like to the reset beginning, correct?
Yeah, it was very shocking. I was actually in property marketing prior. That's where social media was. And then with COVID, they brought us on into the corporate side. So that's where we absorbed our corporate social handles as well as our loyalty. So it added more for us, but it also grew our department. And it really showed that social is such a vital part of a company.
All right. If you're just joining us, so we're talking story with Kristen Koss. She's the corporate social media marketing manager at Caesars Entertainment. A couple of rapid fire questions for you. Morning person or night owl?
I would say before I was a night owl, but now I am definitely a morning person. I love my 6 a.m. workouts before I go to work. I also recently got a puppy, so he wakes me up at 5 a.m. every day. So definitely have switched from night owl to morning person. You know, when you first moved to Vegas, you're wanting to go out to the clubs and the shows and everything, but it's definitely changed.
Wow. What astrology sign are you?
Is that Scorpio? Sorry, I don't follow astrology.
Okay. Scorpio? But
Scorpio, right? Yes.
okay, Scorpio. Favorite food?
Oh my God. So sushi is my favorite food. So whenever I come home, which I actually am in Hawaii right now, we're about to go get sushi for dinner. Sushi's my
Yay!
favorite.
Very good. Do you have a favorite sushi place in here in Honolulu?
Um, no, I haven't been here in a while. I think we usually go to oh my God, what's the name? I know the places. I can't remember the one by the airport.
Down by the airport. Down by the airport. I'm somebody.
Mitch's. Yeah,
Mitch's.
Mitch's.
Oh, look, somebody put it in. Thank you, Anna. Thank you very
And
much.
then in Vegas, I'm a little spoiled because Nobu is owned by Caesars, so we get a really, really good discount there.
Anna, do me a favor. Can you put an address down there so I know where to go later? Because actually, when I come home to Oahu, I want to go find sushi. So
Oh,
thank you
Mitch's
very
is
much.
great. It's BYOB too.
I'm there. What do you miss the most about Hawaii other than sushi?
My friends and family obviously are going to take number one. But I'm lucky that I get to come back home whenever I want to, and food is a close second. Oh, and beaches. You
Oh,
know, I live in the desert, so beaches.
nice. Best kept secret in Las Vegas.
Oh, this is hard. So I work on the strip, love the strip, but if it's your second time coming to Vegas, maybe venture off the strip. There are so many amazing, great restaurants off the strip that so much cheaper than on the strip. So I love going into Chinatown and trying out all the new restaurants. We have such an amazing Asian community in Vegas too. So I always get my Asian food and groceries too. But just trying something new. It's such a large city that there's more to do than on the strip.
Awesome. Last show that you saw that you thoroughly enjoyed in Vegas.
Adele was amazing. and she will be back for her new residency. But yeah, it was amazing. We were there opening night, front row. Another job, you know. But Adele was amazing. Also, I love the show Absinthe. It's at Caesar's Palace. If you have really great humor and don't get offended easily, and love, it's like a dirty version of Cirque du Soleil. It is an amazing show, and it's never the same acts twice. They rotate within Spiegel World, but we just had their 12th anniversary, which is a very long run for a show. It is amazing. Definitely check it out. You like humor.
Awesome. Perfect. Let me see here. Okay, cool. I see a couple of things there. I think I got through all of the rapid fire questions. Let's go to some of the comments. First of all, Dorlin, thank you very much. She has put down, somebody put it down there. Oh, Dorlin did, the YouTube channel. So you can see other episodes. I see you nodding there. About Two Scoops on the YouTube channel. Let me see here. And yes, that's a fun show. Somebody commented on that. I think it was Ryan. Then actually that was a personal question for me because I wanted to know what to go and see. How do you feel? How is the vibe right now with Las Vegas as far as people wearing masks and that kind of stuff? Are people wary or are people just wide open? Okay, done. What's the vibe?
So it's just up to the guest. We're not patrolling anything. We are open to international again. So you do see a few different people. Right now, it's kind of like spring break crowd rolling into summer. So you're getting the younger crowd, more of the bachelor party crowd. But yeah, it's just ultimately up to the guest. They're not mandating anything on the strip.
Now, I am assuming that when the COVID hit, you were sent home and you probably worked out of home. Are you in the office? Are you remote? Are you hybrid? What's with you right now? And what's the general feel amongst companies?
So our team is hybrid. So we're in the office 3 days a week, and then we work from home 2 days a week. But as you know, with social media, some days I'm in the office every day of the week, weekends, nights. I think every weekend since January, we've had an event. So lots of going to property on your days off, nights, weekends. But our boss is really flexible with us, working from home. During the holiday break, I was actually in Thailand. So I worked remote in Thailand for a week because I wanted to stay longer. So luckily I was able to work remote in Thailand for an extra week so I could stay in Phuket, which I love. So flexible as I'm in Hawaii right now. So it's flexible. Just with social, sometimes you do need to be on property because we do get the calls like, I'm in place here, someone from social come grab something. So it is helpful to be in office, but it's not needed every day.
This is for me, just a personal question. I'm asking you this personally, not as necessarily as Caesar's, but do you find it's hard to work from home sometimes?
I honestly prefer it. I am weird and I like to work like in silence, complete silence, or like listening to music if I'm doing the creative side. So if I'm editing photos or writing copy, I love listening to music. So our offices are open concept. So sometimes it does get very loud or distracting if people are walking by. Everyone loves stopping by our area because we have the best snacks too. So I love working from home, but sometimes working in the office is very helpful. So you could just run over and be like, hey, is this press release going out? We have to time it with social post, or hey, there's a water leakage or something. So it is helpful, but I love working from home. Also, that's where my dog and my cat are. So,
Yay. Once again, you've been listening to Kristen Koss. She's a corporate social media marketing manager at Caesars Entertainment. Born and raised on the island of Oahu, graduate of Roosevelt High School and the University of Hawaii Manoa, and she's once again killing it out there. Give us one more thought. Is there anything that you want everybody to know, either from you and what you do, your company, or anything else with social media?
So just social media can be a lot. If this is something that you're very, very passionate about, go for it. Not a lot of people know what it really entails. If you're working for a smaller brand or company, you might be juggling many hats, many different positions. The word social media manager, really, you're doing so many different jobs. You're storyboarding, editing, shooting. Sometimes you're the actor in it, in the content, you're scheduling. So just be prepared to wear many different hats. If you do come onto a team that has editors or in-house production, that's great. But ultimately, you're the subject expert on this. So it's really up to you on what you want to push out on your channels. Also, everybody has social media. Your parents, your CEO, they're going to see what you put out. So just be cognizant of that. But I also love taking risks. I love jumping on trends, seeing what I love posting funny stuff, memes. It just really identifying your brand and going with it. So.
Once again, Kristen's been part of Kristen Koss, part of our discussion today. And just a reminder, we do this for you at here, AAF Hawaii Education Series called Two Scoops. Thank you so much for being our guest today, and much continued success to you.
Thank you.
And enjoy that sushi here at home.
Of course. And poke.
And poke. Hey, real quickly here, while we get to talk to Kristen, and we thank her very much for communicating and telling us more about what she does. In the terms of social media, we're going to turn towards our last two scoops of the season. That's going to be next month. Social media influencer and TikTok sensation Kirsten Titus, aka Pepperoni Muffin, will be with us. That's going to be Thursday, May 18th, 12:30 p.m. And if you need more information, of course, you can find it on the website. And of course, don't forget to check out past shows on the YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, the link is right now. Thank you very much. I got that, Jody. The link is down in the comments area. You know what? It's my I can't see them. Jody, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pop in because I'm not seeing them here, and
Okay.
that's the only reason why. Kristen,
Yes,
you're still with us, right?
Yeah.
sorry,
We
there
have
is
a
a
couple
couple more
more.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more questions that
So,
I can't see. So, Jody, go ahead.
what social media management tools do you use?
So we use Sprout Social as our management platform tool. There are a lot of great tools out there. We've used Koss before. Sprinkler is one used by major brands, but we are at an enterprise level, so we use Sprout Social. We have, I think, 300 users across our entire enterprise. It's really just a way for us to have a pulse on what everybody's doing, so we can pause it if there's an emergency. But there are free platforms out there for smaller brands or people who are just getting started. So I like using Later or Buffer as well. Hootsuite, I think, is another one, but I think they recently just started charging. But there are a lot of great platforms and tools out there. And that's just for the social media management side. When it comes to editing, I like using, well, Lightroom for photos and Premiere Pro for video. But now, really anybody can edit on their phones. The way social media is moving with just more organic type of social video, you can edit videos in CapCut for TikTok or Canva for graphic design or even video. We use Canva with our enterprise since most people don't have Adobe Network and they can't use Photoshop. So there are a lot of great tools out there.
Perfect. That rolls into the next question, which you probably answered. Did you have skills in photo editing, video production prior, or did you learn that on the job?
I learned it. I think when I was in high school, I just became interested in photography. So I pretty much just taught myself, watched what other people were doing, learned on the job, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and that's how I pretty much taught myself how to use my camera and also use Lightroom, which is really user friendly. And same with Premiere. I'm teaching myself animation now too. But Canva has amazing animations. So check out Canva. I strongly recommend it for animations, graphics, even videos. I tested a little video on Canva. Works out great. Also like using Splice for Instagram Reels.
Hmm.
And now with Instagram templates, they're so easy to use and just drop in on the template. And the Instagram algorithm actually bumps up your engagement and brings it to more of like their explore page if you do edit within their app versus then a third party like Splice. So definitely recommend.
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of little like cheats and tricks that you learn, especially when you work with your Twitter and Facebook reps.
Very good. Yeah, no, I'm also a student of Kikula or YouTube, so thank you very much. Yeah. Anything else there, Jody?
Yeah, one last question. How do you manage expectations of your company with the changing nature of social media?
That's a great question. Um, our leadership really looks to us as subject matter experts. So a lot of people will be like, oh, just post this or just get this up. But it ultimately falls on us. We manage the social media. Nothing gets posted without basically our approval, our feedback. We'll tweak some things, but it's really more of like a learning opportunity for them, the requester, if we say no or we have feedback. But I will just say that there are a lot of nights and weekends working, but you have to ultimately love the job, and I do love the job, and I enjoy working at Caesars and doing all the special fun events. So it's really just work-life balance too.
Perfect.
right.
Thank you, Kristen. That's it, Billy. Back to
Thank
you.
you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, Jody. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. And we will see you Thursday, May 18th at 12:30 p.m. from Hilo, Hawaii. I'm Billy V on behalf of AAF Hawaii. Mahalo pono, aloha, a hui ho. Enjoy the rest of your week.